Alright, so the worst friend that I've ever had is Candace Bondurant, for obvious reasons. Now, I've posted the evidence on here of why. Good people don't do that. However, the most horrible person I know is Laura Nelson. She has been aware of many of the crimes committed against me, and much of the harm committed against me. She has been a part of much of this story. But, and it's a big but, she doesn't care. She doesn't care about the 5 years of hell that I've gone through because she was too cowardly to come forward. Court date after court date after court date. Being threatened, harassed, intimidated, and assaulted. Incarcerated for crimes that were not committed. Being illegally prevented from going to my court dates. This all costs money. I have to try to live off of fucking nothing because all of my money goes to paying people to help that don't help. Meanwhile, if Laura Nelson had come forward to begin with, it would have made all the difference in the world, but she just never did. She didn't care. As long as it's not happening to her, it's fine. Laura Nelson is worse than Ted Bollinger, and here's why. Because Laura Nelson's testimony, Laura Nelson coming forward and writing a police report, Laura Nelson speaking up when it mattered, would have allowed me to put Ted Bollinger away in prison for the crimes that he committed. It would have allowed me to put these web sleuths in prison for the crimes that they committed. It would have allowed me to put Scott DaCosta and his cronies in prison for the crimes that they committed. Laura Nelson knew more than anyone else. More than anyone. Because see, while all of these web sleuths and web junkies didn't care about the truth, Laura was there for the truth, and she never spoke up. Good people don't do that. While Brenda Dixonson was all fucked up on pain pills, and my public pretenders were going out of their way not to do their jobs because nobody came forward. Sure, they argued with people in Facebook groups, but they didn't come forward in court. They never wrote a police report. Ever. I've got court on the 4th over an illegal protection order. I've got to go before a judge who committed felonies. Judicial misconduct is not a joke, but they know that they'll get away with it. I'm the only person in town who's got the intestinal fortitude to stand up to these people. Now, there's a lady here in town named Mandy Singer, and Well, her not doing what she was gonna do over a week ago, which is call Lisa and let her know this stuff is actually happening and how important it is, has really screwed me quite a bit. See, that lady, Lisa Green, Mandy Singer was supposed to get a hold of her over a week ago and let her know that I was telling the truth, but she didn't, and then it was the weekend. Does that make Mandy Singer a bad person? No, it doesn't. With everything going on in her life, no, she's not a horrible person. Unlike Mandy Singer, Laura Nelson has had 5 years to come forward. 5 years. She wants to hide behind her God, and she wants to hide behind her son. She needs to come forward in court. But is she going to? No, she's not. She's a coward. Just like everyone else in Chapel, Nebraska. See, in Chapel, Nebraska, people don't care if it's true or not. Everything is based on reputation, family name, looks, and money. Without help with this electronic stuff, I'm screwed. Without someone to go in with me in court, I'm screwed. When I had people that did go in with me to court, they always postponed it over and over and over again. Meanwhile, I have to live on a fixed income. If I'm incarcerated longer than 30 days, they take away my income and I have to start over from ground zero. I have to start over again with nothing. Meanwhile, if you think that judicial records against black people are bad, you see what judges do to the homeless. Meanwhile, I was forced into homelessness. The FBI has blackballed me because their agents committed felonies repeatedly. Meanwhile, I don't have access to the names of those people. I just got a message on my telephone. Let's go see what it says. I'm in a constant state of panic because I need help. I have looked up over and over and over trying to figure out this whole ex parte bullshit, and well, I can't find it. I find a bunch of stuff that goes all around the world, same song, all around the world. Just a bunch of stuff that takes me around in circles. It says protection orders are not in effect until, this is if I am served a protection order in jail, what happens? It says Protection orders are not in effect until a county sheriff presents the order to the defendant, and they also do not become permanent until the defendant has a chance to respond in a court hearing. After you have been served with a protection order, you have 10 business days to request a court hearing to dispute it. The evidence shows that I was incarcerated and illegally prevented from going to that. Now, I've been told, and mind you, this is just what I've been told. I can't find any proof of any of this. But if I'm incarcerated, they have to take me to my protection order. And I was obviously incarcerated. I could not have gone. I was illegally prevented from contacting my public pretender for over 30 days, almost 40. Now they've got this womenslaw.org. They got all of this stuff to help out women, but they have nothing to help out victims of women. There's just nothing here. It's like they go out of their way to prevent somebody from being able to actually defend themselves against false accusations. I don't know what I'm supposed to do in court. What I do know is that this is another ploy to try to deprive me of my evidence. I have no safe place for it. I have no place of my own. I have no family that can take it, and I definitely don't have any family I can trust. Meanwhile, I am disabled, and I am prevented from getting the help that I need as a disabled person, and I am denied the rights of the rest of you because of the term mentally ill. There's just too much. Being denied my rights as a human being for 5 years straight, repeatedly denied the right to face my accusers, repeatedly denied the right to show evidence, repeatedly having my evidence stolen from me and having to go to court with public pretenders who won't do their goddamn jobs and won't make any effort to get the goddamn evidence. And of course, because of this, my predators get away with this repeatedly. After what Dual County Sheriff's Department did in 2018, I never should have had to go back to them. Of course, I was dealing with gaslighting and harassment and threats and complete and total nut jobs the whole time. Then there's the fact that I had to show it on the internet because people wanted to bullshit me. I don't know what I'm doing, alright? I have no clue. What I do know is that if they railroad me, they're gonna impound my vehicle and get rid of my evidence. I don't have anywhere safe to put it. I have to take it to court. Where am I gonna put it? I can't leave it here. It's not safe here. And of course, there's also the possibility that law enforcement will attempt to arrest me and lock me up before I am able to go to court. And there's the fact that, well, I don't have anyone in my corner. Mandy Singer is not in my corner. She will not be there for court. She cannot help me currently because of her family issues. So no, she's not in my corner. That's not because she's a bad person. It's not because she doesn't want to help. But it always turns out like this, doesn't it? I spend all my resources and people can't do the things that I need. It's not my fault that Mandy can't be in court. It's not my fault that she has to take care of her grandkids. Now, with Laura Nelson, it's a different story. That's not my fault either. But Mandy has gotten to see some of the evidence, whereas Laura Nelson was there for many of these events. And she is definitely a horrible person for not coming forward about it, for not speaking up, for allowing it to happen. I don't know who it is that threatened Laura Nelson to get her so scared, or if she's just paranoid. But here's the thing about Mandy Singer and Laura Nelson. They're both sober. Both of them. The safety issues created for me by the Dual County Sheriff's Department, these are not okay. The fact that they have repeatedly assisted my predators in getting away with it is not okay. I'm looking at a bunch of screenshots from Cara Mia, aka Cara Rogers. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I do. At all. Candace Bondurant could have come forward. She's the worst friend I've ever had. I mean, truly, well and truly. I've never, ever had a worse friend. However, Candace Bondurant didn't know shit about what the hell was going on when I was at her house. Laura Nelson did. Laura Nelson knew that this stuff was going on, where my caseworkers were too busy trying to convince me I need to just move along. To where? To where? I was working on trying to turn in Leslie Snell, Scott DaCosta, and Robert Warnick. Again, they're trying to pull this protection order crap, going to allow my predators to harm me again, repeatedly. Now with Marcia Estrada saying that she doesn't have time, she's got an overwhelming caseload, she's gonna eventually No, she's not. She's not gonna put any fucking effort towards it. This is how homeless people are treated. We are not human beings to your society, and nobody's going to do a thing about it. They're going to make excuses. They're going to change the subject. They're going to ask pointed and misleading questions in order to, well, to avoid the truth, to avoid having to look at evidence that could have them put in prison if they see it. This is not okay. Like I said, it wasn't the predators who made me suicidal. It's these supposed good people who stood by and did nothing. Laura Nelson is a horrible excuse for a human being. She's even worse than Ted Bollinger. She knew so much, and she allowed it to happen. Allowed it to happen. She's got a long history of doing that. But she talked to me nice. She also bitched at me about everyone else in town. What a horrible excuse for a human being.